Hello. Hi, my name is Sakura, and I like LEDs. They're bright, shiny, sparkle. Now, this fursuit actually didn't come with LEDs when I bought it. I added them all myself. These ears, it's actually just a hat. I'm going to stick this on without. The eyelids, they're just little LEDs and batteries. The gloves are just wiring, LEDs and batteries. Now, I do get a lot of compliments at furry cons about them. And I also get told one thing quite often. My fursuit came with LEDs and now they don't work. And that's quite unfortunate. You spend all the money on a fursuit head. It had a bunch of pretty lights in it, and then they stopped working after 1 or 2 cons. Now, the thing is, the LEDs themselves, they will be fine. There's nothing wrong with the LEDs. It's the wiring to them. Fursuits, clothing, costumes, they are horribly, horribly hard on wiring. And me, being a mechanic, I know wiring. And I like to share a few tips and tricks to make your LEDs last quite a bit longer. Yeah. I made this harness. So kind of a pointer of some tricks. I'll put a thingy up there and with some magic arrows. One of the biggest things you can do is use thicker wire, like minimum 18 gauge thickness, and use that nice soft silicone insulated wire. 2, strain relief. Always, always, always use strain relief whenever you can. Like if you have a resistor you need to put in the middle of the wire, solder or crimp your resistor in, and then kind of wrap it around itself and put some heat shrink on top of that, just so it's a bit of like an S shape and it takes the strain off of it. Same thing with like USB cables. They got really, really tiny wiring in them also. Just when you connect the wires, wrap it around, put some heat shrink over it. That'll make it nice and strong. And as stupid as it sounds, but Christmas lights or fairy lights, wherever you are in the world, they have pretty good strain reliefs built in them. So this harness, I just cut up a Christmas light string and used the little strain reliefs. But I put my own LEDs in them. Christmas light, fairy light LEDs are horrible. They're like, I would not use them. Use them, try to find some good quality ones. Don't get them off eBay. eBay is kind of the dumpster of China. Get them from like Mauser or DigiKey, reputable source. And 2, I mean, you don't have to use Christmas lights. As long as you, this one I made myself, maybe put a couple of layers of heat shrink on them, and then another extra layer in between them, just to act kind of a strain relief to keep them from pulling apart. And if you do that same trick with multiple wires, okay, going in between them, when connecting multiple wires into one, either crimp or solder them as you were. But when you put the heat shrink on, put some hot glue or some sealant in between the wires and then shrink the heat shrink down. That leads me to my next thing. Don't cheap out on your heat shrink. Go to the automotive store and get some good quality dual wall adhesive lined heat shrink. I mean, this thin stuff you get is no good. I mean, sure, it will work good for your electronic projects, but they're gonna floppy. And when this stuff shrinks down, this shrinks down nice and stiff and hard. Oh whoa. And it will give you less problems. What else was I gonna say? And if you build your own things, come on. Like, this is a claw I made. Oh. And as you can see, I'll put a thingy up there. I went through the trouble of putting as much strain relief as I can into it. Again, strain relief, heavier wiring, flexible wiring, and you'll be doing a lot better. I do have a video on, I did sort of half-ass make a video on how I made this harness. I'm not sure if that's worth showing. The thing is, I can't really do this in fursuit. You have to see my ugly human hands. So if you'd like to see it, let me know. But till then, that's kind of all I want to say. So long story short, use 18 gauge silicone insulated wires. If you're worried about a wire breaking, like a resistor or a USB cable, wrap it around itself and then heat shrink around that. Use good quality heat shrink, dual wall adhesive lined heat shrink. Don't cheap out with LEDs. Strain relief, strain relief, strain relief. That's the #1 rule. Either give yourself lots of room with the LEDs or use something like Christmas light ends that's got strain relief built in. Okay, so till next time.